Ruby decks in Lorcana are full of surprises. They've got big characters, big beat sticks, and all kinds of tricks of the trade. So let's talk about my 5 favorite cards in Ruby right now. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about my 5 favorite Ruby cards in Lorcana. We're not worrying about meta, not worrying about power level. So let's just jump right in here and talk about Fan the Flames. This is a 1-cost inkable action that says ready chosen character. They can't quest for this turn. Okay, that is not a scary limitation because guess what they can do? They can challenge, they can sing, they can activate an exert ability. You can also just use this to protect very powerful or very vulnerable characters in order to keep them alive for a future turn. Fan the Flames is a very, very versatile card and one you're going to see a lot of people trying to figure out how to use, how to build decks around this untap restand ability because normally people look at this and go, hey, I'm going to use this to like challenge, untap, challenge again. But there's so many cool features that this card specifically allows. And in multiplayer, you can ready not your own characters. Anyways, let's move along. Something to think about there. So the next card up here is a similar kind of effect and one of my favorites. Shield of Virtue, a 1-cost inkable item that has a very powerful effect. Exert this card, pay 3 ink, ready chosen character. They cannot quest for the rest of the turn. What's different about this is the item stays on the field permanently until it gets destroyed by some kind of item removal. Fan the Flames is a one-and-done action. You play it, you resolve it, it's gone. Having Shield of Virtue means you can put a lot of pressure on your opponent because they know you can turn one of your characters into a double challenge. You can potentially quest, activate an ability, and then untap. You can activate a exert ability, ready them up again, activate that exert ability a second time. There's a lot of different potential options here, and the opponent has to just kind of look at that Shield of Virtue and respect the fact that you, as the Ruby player, can use it in whatever capacity you want. You don't have to use it, but you can use it. And now let's move along because this is really exciting. We're talking about Aladdin, the street rat. This is a 3-cost inkable card, 2 strength, 2 willpower, 1 pip of lore, but he really gets his ability. Just like the theme and power from this card comes from improvise. When you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore. So the more people you're playing with, the more value you get from this card. But even in a 1v1 match, if you're playing in a tournament or at your locals, being able to slow your opponent down by 1 lore and get a body on the field is powerful. His stat line, not the best in the world, but you play him, your opponent loses 1 lore. Next turn, you quest, and if your opponent attacks him in a challenge, then you've denied them the lore from that challenger, which could be 1, maybe 2. So Aladdin could disrupt easily between 2 or 3 lore, unless he goes up against a Ruby character with Rush and Reckless that doesn't have any lore whatsoever. But it's still a really useful card and a very powerful ability. And then there's Big Brother Aladdin. So this card is going to be something you will see in people's decks. Also, he's in one of the starter decks, so he's going to be very available. But a 7-cost card can be sent to the Inkwell, 5 strength, 5 willpower, 2 pips of lore, shift 5. You can shift this on top of the other Aladdin we were just talking about. And then with Daring Exploit, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore, the opponent loses 2 lore. Huge. Because guess what? You can use Fan the Flames or the Shield to restand him and do it a second time. So you could have an 8-point swing in lore. 4 on your side, 4 stolen from the opponent. Pretty nice. Very, very nice combo. And he's just a really scary body your opponent has to respect. Could come out anytime after turn 5. And it doesn't have summoning sickness. So essentially it has rush. Be forewarned. But with this card here, you can be prepared for the Aladdin, wink, with a 7-cost song, non-inkable, banish all characters. Quite literally a Wrath of God from Magic the Gathering. This is a card effect that's pretty much in every single trading card game we've ever seen. There always needs to be a way to just clear out the board, reset the game, try and help get yourself back into the game. Hopefully by banishing all of your opponent's characters, you set them far enough behind that they're really unable to catch up. You can take the lead and win the game. But because it can be sung, you don't necessarily have to pay 7 ink. You can use a character that costs 7 or more, exert them, blow everything up. So Value Town, you can quest with everything, then use your 7 cost to sing Be Prepared, banish all characters. Now your opponent has to figure out how to reestablish their board state. Great for weenie decks, rush decks, wide decks, anything that gets bigger boards than you do. And that's pretty much it. Those are my 5 favorite cards in Ruby, and I love this game so much. Lorcana is built around playing games with your friends, your family, your locals, nurturing relationships, making friendships, and having fun. So definitely get out there, try building some of these decks, and let us know which Ruby cards are your favorite. And also make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we'll see all of you next time here on LorcanaCast.